Most successful 300-pound fat man Taekwondo master in the UFC, Chris Barnett. Chris Barnett's success in martial arts or even professional boxing definitely wasn't foreseen. And given how much he weighs and generally how huge he is, many people were sure this wasn't the life for him. But several years down the line, it's an entirely different story to be told of the most successful 300-pound Taekwondo master in the UFC. And in today's video, we'll be taking a closer look at how Chris Barnett was able to get to this point in his life and how he was able to build such a successful career as a professional boxer. All you have to do is make sure to stick around till the end of the video. With the nickname Beast Boy or Huggy Bear, Chris Barnett always walked into the cage in his plush pajamas and made a fantastic performance, not just with his unique finishes, but also with his exciting dance styles. But all of this wasn't built in one day. Rather, it goes way back to the kind of childhood he had. Chris Barnett was born in Spain, where his father served in the military as a captain in the U.S. Air Force, and due to this fact, Barnett and his family were forced to move around a lot. But at the age of 5, they finally moved to the United States and settled in Georgia. With Barnett's brother constantly getting bullied, he decided to go into learning martial arts, and seeing how effective this was and how much help it was to him, their father decided that Barnett got involved as well. Given that both his parents and older brother were always at the gym, this wasn't something he found hard to blend into. And in no time, young Barnett acquired his black belt in Taekwondo. By the time he was in 10th grade, Barnett had decided to go ahead and train in wrestling, which even gave him the opportunity of getting a sports scholarship to a small college in Kentucky. He stated that his major reason for going into wrestling was because no one else in his family had considered it or was even doing it. After graduating from college, Barnett started MMA, but due to his size, not a lot of people in the gym took him seriously. However, while he weighed about 300 pounds, he was about 6 feet tall at the age of 22. Barnett was able to move his body like a lightweight, and showing off this talent of his to extreme championship matchmakers left them in awe. What were they to expect from someone who'd come from a family of black belt owners? His father and brother were both 4th-degree black belts, his mother still on the road to her 3rd-degree black belt, and he with a 3rd-degree black belt. Without wasting much of his time, they went ahead and signed him. In 2019, Barnett made his professional debut, with his very first match being against Jonathan IVEY with over 70 fights under his belt. Unfortunately, none of that meant anything to Barnett as he beat up his opponent for about 15 minutes to the point of going in for a suplex. The match was brought to an end with hammer blows, with the debutant winning the match by unanimous decision. Following this victory, Barnett continued to build his career with Extreme Fighting Championships with a record of 5 wins and 0 losses, and even went on to create a record with huge Japanese promotions like Risen and Road Fighting Championship. And as to the great dancer that he is, all of it completely fell into place with his ability to apply his amazing footwork and handstand, making use of Taekwondo in his fights. As he continued to grow, he found himself signing the worst deal he could have ever imagined for the local organization XFC for a very long time. The entire thing led him out of the competition throughout these years and had the Beast Boy go out of shape after shading most of his weight. But after about 2 years and 10 months, the man was put on the roster and set to compete at super heavyweight, which is something you definitely wouldn't hear of in other organizations, and especially not in the biggest MMA organizations. Out of whatever contract he found himself in with XFC, Barnett signed with Island Fights promotion, where he scored a couple of technical knockouts and took his usual position as a champion. He continued to do what he did best, not just beating his opponents to a pulp, but also giving the audience a show with his insane flexibility and coordination. From here, the champion moved to Japan to make a name for himself there as well. Weighing about 341 pounds and walking into his first fight with plush bear pajamas already had the crowds cheering, but wait until they saw him move in the ring. Back in the U.S., Barnett's fight against John Hill had already been scheduled, and in just the space of 30 seconds in this battle, Barnett had sent his opponent face first to the ground as he passed out on the platform, and he made sure to make a show of it as he did his usual dance in front of the fans. To fulfill the initial promise he'd made to his Japanese audience, Barnett was back at their New Year's event and put on a beautiful performance to properly end the year 2014 as he conquered his opponent, Shinichi Suzukawa, in just minutes of the first round. Following an 8-win streak, his open weight Grand Prix semifinals came along and interrupted that streak as he lost to Ole Thompson by decision. He went on and signed with Road FC, but unfortunately, after getting a left shot eye during the first match, he lost. And even after a rematch with Hyun Man Myung, there really was no saving Beast Boy. He went back to the island fights and acquired yet another loss in the hands of Alex Nicholson. Barnett had ruined his 8-winning streak as he went on to lose 5 out of his 7 matches. But none of that was going to hold Beast Boy down, and so he went back to Road FC for a fight against Gun Oh Shim, and this was the beginning of yet another winning streak for Barnett. Beast Boy was back with his spinning kicks and amazing footwork. By the year 2020, Barnett began working towards getting into the UFC, and after his match with Ahmed Tahani, he knew he'd gotten what he needed for his resume to get that contract with the UFC. Thankfully, the call came from the UFC saying they needed an opponent for Ben Rothwell just about 9 days before the event. Just like that, Chris was able to sign a multi-fight deal in the UFC. Unfortunately, this match wasn't in Barnett's favor, as Rothwell conquered him. After his very first loss against Rothwell in the UFC, Barnett tested positive for marijuana and had to take a step back from fighting. However, 4 months later, he was back in the game.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
And was ready to take down his next opponent, Gian Vellante, which in the end earned him a Performance of the Night bonus. Beast Boy Barnett had come back with so much beastly energy. After landing a hot spinning wheel kick to the head of Vellante in the second round, he went straight in with a series of blows to his head, which completely took out his opponent, leading to his victory. In so much excitement to celebrate his very first heavyweight win in the UFC, Barnett went in with a front flip filled with so many emotions and excitement. This fight right here was what made his already growing career hit a peak. Unfortunately, his next fight, which was against Martin Buday in April 2022, ended in a technical unanimous decision loss for Beast Boy after unintentionally taking an illegal elbow to the back of the head. However, this unfortunate loss wasn't enough to hold him down, because just in September 2022, the Beast Boy was back on his feet as he landed a smooth win against Jake Collier just a few minutes into the second round as he moved up even further in the heavyweight rankings. Chris Barnett is indeed an excellent example of not judging a book by its cover, because with a body like his, no one will be expecting it to produce such precise spinning wheel kicks, flips, and even such amazing dance moves. So then be sure to let us know by hitting the like button and let us know in the comments section whose story you'd want us to feature next on the channel. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. Thank you very much for watching.